Hi guys, Matt Lemke here with True Gamer Goggles. We are at the Paizo booth. Starfinder stuff with James Sutter. And we're pretty much only going to talk about Starfinder because I'm going to try and waylay Jason later. Or
seems reasonable.
Make him do melee. He's this tall. Anyway, so big release. Pretty much, it is actually all sold out.
It is all sold out. This is actually like, I have to go hide this in the back of the booth afterwards.
Here, hide it in there.
Yeah, exactly. No.
No, I didn't get a copy yet, so you guys are gonna have to wait for me to do my abuse to it. But I'm sure James has been talking a lot about Starfinder, and since it's kind of like his baby,
it's true.
It is. He's probably been asked a lot of the same questions. So, I'm Trixie. We're gonna start with, is there going to be a card game?
Oh, not right away. Oh my God. Do you have any idea how hard it was just to get this done?
He's like,
do another
whoa,
game?
boom, sledge to the chest.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well,
maybe someday.
You recently released the Adventures Guide.
Yeah.
Are we going to see something similar in the not so near future with that? Like,
we're talking about different factions and stuff.
Yeah, did like all the factions mature or?
So some of them did. That's actually one of the things that I really love about the Starfinder Core rulebook is we actually, unlike the Pathfinder Core rulebook, we have a big old setting section in the book. So now you can learn about all the planets, you can learn about the gods and the factions actually in this book as well. So some of those factions have come forward. There's stuff like the Hell Knights are still around, but now they're flying through space, you know. You've got, stuff like Abadar, the god of cities and wealth and merchants. He still totally exists as a god, but also he's got Abadar Corp. Like, wouldn't you expect that, like, the god of wealth and, corporations would have one of the biggest companies in the multiverse, right?
Exactly.
So there's a bunch of that information in here. We will, of course, be doing more books as time goes on. The Alien Archive comes out in a couple of months. That's our first big bestiary. And then we're going to do a book called The Pact Worlds, which will have a lot more information on the various worlds of our core setting.
So what else has made it?
What else has made it through? Oh God, I mean, well, all the old Pathfinder races are still here. Even though we created some new core races, we still give you the stats and the abilities and information on the original Pathfinder core races in here. A lot of the gods are here, some of the gods are not. Which doesn't mean that they're gone, doesn't mean that they're dead, except sometimes when they are. But some of them are just less prominent now, and we have new alien gods that have risen to prominence. I think the Hell Knights are the ones that I'm most excited to have come forward. But even some of the organizations like lesser known stuff, like the Stewards, are one of the big sort of like good guy organizations in Starfinder, and they actually were created back in Distant Worlds as like a little thing on one of the planets, and now they've grown and expanded. So
okay. So getting to pick and choose what survives and what doesn't survive.
Yeah.
How fun or frustrating was that?
It was great. I mean, that was one of the parts that I was really looking forward to. It's one of the things that is most appealing about using a setting that you've already got rather than doing something brand new is like, okay, let's see how things change as we go forward. Like, what is the Aspis Consortium like in the future? Well, maybe they're more like an Illuminati kind of thing, operating behind the scenes. What is, what happened to Rovagog? Well, Galarian itself has disappeared in Starfinder. Rovagog was the god of destruction imprisoned within the planet, so he's kind of disappeared as well. Just like every change you make has these ramifications that ripple out.
The modern artificer.
Yeah, but I don't follow.
Artificers, so a modern artificer had to be a lot of fun if it's in there or when it comes about.
Sure. Well, for more that sort of direction, the two classes I'd say we have that are closest to that are the mechanic, which is all about building stuff, building yourself a little robot buddy or an AI implant you can put in your brain, or the technomancer is really one of the fusions of magic, computers. They're like futuristic, computer engineers hacking the laws of the multiverse.
Right. Yeah, so you guys took the old world, and kind of created a whole new world within the system.
Yeah, within the same setting. It's just the setting is, come forward a lot.
Yeah, and well, I lost my train of thought, but anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it's come to fruition. It's sold out. It's apparently very popular.
Yeah. It's sold out, but you can still get it online in bookstores everywhere.
Yeah, it's sold
We're
out.
just sold out
It's
at
sold
the
out
show.
here. Yeah, good correction.
Please still buy the book.
Still buy the book. So you don't have any more like the Game Master material here, because there's everything that's out now is the core book, the Game Master's book.
Well, actually, so there's not a Game Master's book. There's a GM screen.
That's what I saw.
We also have, flip mats, both the regular and the hex grid that we use in Starship Combat. We have a combat pad tracker, but most importantly, we have the first volume of the new Starfinder Adventure Path.
That's what I was trying to think of.
So Dead Suns is the new adventure path. It starts on Absalom Station and takes you, through the Pact Worlds and beyond. I think it's got a really fun, classic feel. I guess I won't spoil anything about what's in it, but
spoilers are terrible.
Yeah, but I think it's really fun, and the first installment just came out, so.
Yeah, the first installment, and there will be 4, right?
There'll be 6.
6.
Yeah.
And then after that, where do you go?
Well,
where do we go?
We'll go to a full new adventure path, which I can't talk about yet. But there are other adventures. There's Starfinder Society, which is the organized play sort of equivalent of Pathfinder Society, but for Starfinder. And they have a bunch of scenarios. They're going to have new scenarios all the time. And so you can go there for adventures. You can go to third-party publishers, because there's a bunch of third-party.
There's a bunch of them already.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of different places you can go to get your Starfinder fix.
Yes. Now, I don't know about the rest of the world, but I am very impressed with the way you guys unfolded everything. You started with your announcement, and then the next big thing, in my opinion, was the announcement of the approved play for it. And then, okay, bam, I thought we were only going to get this at Gen Con, and there's a lot more available than that.
Well, we really...
And all of the third-party people have been so hyped up about it, too. This is probably one of the biggest releases that I've seen in 6 years.
It's, so I've been in Paizo for 13 years, and I was here through when we launched the core rulebook and the adventure card game. This was the craziest I've seen it. So really, it's incredibly gratifying, and we're super thankful to everybody. But yeah, no, it's one of those things where even this project was in some ways fairly impossible, but we said if we're going to go ahead and do the impossible, we might as well do all of it, right?
It's a thick book. It's what?
It's almost as long as the Pathfinder core rulebook. My only mandate from Eric Mona, the publisher, was it can't be any longer than the core rulebook. So this is 32 pages shorter than the Pathfinder core rulebook. But that was really a challenge, because we had to have, a game just as big and robust as Pathfinder. So all of those rules, plus Starship Combat, plus all the setting material, plus we really wanted to have some more introductory material that really walked people through character creation and get people who are new to the hobby into the game easier, taking some of the lessons we learned from Pathfinder's beginner box and trying to apply that in here too. So we made the big list of everything that had to be in the book. It was 800 pages. And so we had to boil it down from there, and that was excruciating and really useful, and in the end I think made the book stronger.
So there's 2 more books on the horizon, for sure.
There will continue to be more hardcover books, but really our release pace is pretty slow with those. We want the adventure path to be sort of the main way people are getting new stuff, because that comes out every 2 months. It's got the adventure, but it's also got back matter material, gazetteers on the planets, new monsters, brand new planets, new stuff for players. There's really a little bit of everything in the adventure path.
Has there been any talk about a Starfinder beginner box?
Yes, I mean there's no question that Eric would like one, and it,
it means it's going to happen.
It will definitely happen. When exactly it happens depends.
Next Christmas. Eric, next Christmas.
Eric wants it as fast as he can get it. My whole team is lying on the floor in boneless puddles of jelly, being
is November, December, September of next year doable?
I am not committing to anything on camera.
I'm not saying to commit. I'm is it?
I don't know, right? Because the other thing is making a beginner box.
What goes in it?
We don't even know. We need to finish seeing what's up with this game, right? Because we made this game, we play tested it, we put it out in the world, but now we got to see, does it drive? It's one thing to see it play tested by 100 or 1,000 people versus 10, 50, 100,000 people, right? So we're going to learn a lot about the game and like what the game still needs, stuff like that. But I'm sure we will inevitably do a beginner box, but hopefully we took enough that we learned from the Pathfinder beginner box that this will be significantly easier to get into than Pathfinder, despite being roughly equivalent in terms of gameplay style.
Okay. I think that's good. Anything you want to add?
Woo.
What was your favorite part of this process? Oh,
my favorite part of this process was probably, excluding watching everybody buy it yesterday, I think my favorite part of the process was really developing the setting, because a lot of this was based on the solar system we created in Distant Worlds, and I got to write that book years ago for Pathfinder, where I just created a bunch of different planets that were around Galarian, and now here we've gotten to use that as the setting for an entire game and advance those planets thousands of years in the future. That was really fun to like get to go revisit old, pet projects of mine and like get a whole team to help bring them forward.
Paizo's good at that though. They're really good at that.
Yeah, well, and so it was really nice getting to work with, the Starfinder team, we've got a bunch of people worked on it, but especially like, the creative lead, Rob McCreary, the design lead, Owen Stevens, Jason Keeley, the developer, and of course, Sarah Robinson, who handles all the art stuff for Paizo, but especially, the artistic creative direction on Starfinder. These are some of the most talented, intelligent people I've ever worked with, and so actually, even though it often resulted in like knockdown, drag-out battles trying to get everybody's different visions to work together, it was so fun to see the setting come together, to see the races come together. Those were sort of the things that I was most excited about.
So last year we talked a lot about character classes.
Yeah.
I don't remember what you said your favorite one was, but is it still the same?
Ooh.
Or what? We should just simplify and say, what is your favorite class now?
Probably the Solarian, just because it's the most unique. I feel like a soldier is kind of like a fighter, an operative is kind of like a rogue. They're all very different, right? But you can find those analogs of the futuristic version of, take a cleric forward. Does that become a mystic? Well, not exactly, but it's pretty close. The Solarian is totally unique. The Solarian takes this idea of, there's this traditional trope, certainly Star Wars bought into it, but other things, but the idea of like, good guys have one set of powers, bad guys have another set of powers, and like you're sort of defined by that, right? Light side, dark side. The Solarian really takes the idea of, what if you didn't have to choose? What if you could just all the time decide, do I want to go more to this direction or this direction? And it's not permanent. You can choose fight by fight. And so that's what we did with the Solarian. You've got sort of these energy powers and entropy powers as you're sort of attuned to the cosmos. And so you attune yourself one direction, and you get to like, turn yourself into a creature of fire, go do all these interesting things with light and heat and energy. You go the other direction, you get to do more stuff with gravity and black holes and things like that. As you do that, as you drift one direction, you get stronger at those things, but less powerful at the other side. And so it's this really fun strategic thing where you're always thinking 2, 3, 4 rounds ahead in combat. What are you trying to set yourself up? Are you trying to set yourself up for a power move? Or are you trying to just sort of like stay in the middle so you have maximum versatility?
So this actually is really fast, not over a long period of time.
Yeah, it's round by round. And so if you want something that's a little more tactical, a little more meaty to sink your teeth into, I think the Solarian has a lot of really interesting stuff there.
Sounds like what I'm playing.
Yeah.
But I'm probably running it, so. Yeah. NPC. Anything else you want to add?
No, just like please check out Starfinder. If you got more questions, go to the Paizo.com message boards, or you can find us on Twitter. Paizo is just at Paizo, P-A-I-Z-O, and I'm at James L. Sutter, and I'm the creative director on Starfinder. So happy to chat.
You still do all the fiction, right?
I also do the fiction. It's been a very busy year.
Are you happy with the move to Tor?
Well, actually, so the Tor deal recently ended. So, yeah, so there's a little bit of a scramble as we figure out who's going to be our next publishing partner. And I'm trying to make sure that all gets handled as quickly as possible so we can get back to putting books out.
Yeah. That makes things a little difficult, I guess. Good, that means I might be able to write for him in the future.
Anything is possible.
Yep, all right. Thank you.
Thank you very much.